Okay, so what I want to look at now is some more stock management, so specifically stock takes and stock adjustments. So two different things here. A stock take is when you're doing a stock count basically of everything, every product you have and every item you have. A stock adjustment is used more in temporary situations when you just need to adjust the level of usually one or a few items. Possibly something's been damaged or given away for demonstration or something similar. So both of these options are found up from the inventory option just up the top, and then we've got new stock adjustment and new stock take. So we'll do a stock adjustment just first. So this is used in smaller situations where you just need to adjust one or a couple of items. So we've got an effective date which defaults to today. You can back or forward date that if you wish to. Obviously that will make a difference as to when that flows in as journals into your accounts, and also where you want that expense to go to. So for example, if you've written this off for demonstration or marketing purposes, you might want to put it to a marketing expense. Then you can either add a non-zero product or a zero product. So if you've got nothing of an item, then add it in here and you put a quantity in. If you have got something, put it in here. So here, for example, if I go and find the golf balls. So here, for example, there's the unit is per item. We're looking in the main warehouse, which is the only warehouse I've got available. It says we've got 42, so let's say we have 40. And comments are really, really important. So I would always put something in here. So we'll say damaged stock here. It could be damaged or given away or lost or stolen or whatever it is. And we can continue and add more lines if we need to, but I'll just add that one for the moment. And I'll save this so that it gets a stock adjustment number. So this is the 11th one I've done. And then that doesn't make any change to the system or to zero, that just purely saves it. So for example, if you've now gone away and need to count some more stock, you would just save it. If I know that's the adjustment I want to make, then I would just go complete and I get this confirmation here. So that's changed everything, changed the golf balls from 42 to 40. So the alternative to that is then to do a stock take. So stock take is where you count every single item. So this is a bit more involved. Currently, unfortunately, we can do a stock take by location, but we can't do it by section. So for if you wanted to do, say, your electrical goods this week, and your household goods next week, and so on and so forth. I know that is a very high request for DIA, so I believe it will be coming very soon. So we've got an effective date, we've got a location, we've got the expense account, same as the last ones. And then this is a really important button here. So depending on whether I tick this on or off, you'll see, so we've got these columns here. If I tick this on, then you'll see this adds the quantity on hand column. So if I start the stock take, then it will tell me for every product how much I'm expecting to have on hand. If I untick that, why don't we do it now? Apologies. If I had unticked that before I started the stock take, then what would happen is it won't have this quantity on hand column. Now, this is something that's probably personal preference, but so the alternatives here are having the quantity on hand can be useful because for an example, if I go and find, so say here we've got 120 whiskey bottles. If you, let's say you didn't count any and you didn't have your quantity on hand column, you might leave that as 0 and then you've got 120 bottle variants you've got to try and fix later on. Whereas having the quantity here prompts you to say, we should have 120 of them. Where are they? Are they in a different box behind something in a different location, and probably try a bit harder to find it. The downside, and I've had this experience when I've worked in retail before, is it tells people what they're supposed to have. So if someone, for example, goes and there's 110 whiskey bottles, they go, oh God, I'm supposed to have 120, we've lost 10, or someone's stolen 10, or we broke 10, or whatever. I'll just put in we've got 120, and we'll worry about it later on, or when I'm not doing stock take or whatever. So my personal preference would be to have it without, but it's completely and utterly up to you. Now you can export and import here, so if you want to pull this all out to Excel, you can do that, and then in Excel there's a stock take quantity column, and you can just run down, put them all in. So although I mentioned before we can't do stock takes by department, that is quite useful because you can give that Excel file to a few people and get them to fill in their sections and then bring them all back together. The only other options you got at the top here, we can scan barcodes. So here you can scan barcodes in to count products if you do have a barcode scanner attached. For the moment, I'm just going to go down here and I'm going to put in, for example, 1. That's one that's got a serial number, my mistake. Okay, let's go and do the whiskey for the moment. And then save that, and that will save back. So I can then complete this stock take if I want to. I'm not going to do this because I don't want to have that impact on my demo system. I'll just void this. But hopefully that explains how we do stock takes and also how to do stock adjustments.